Good afternoon. It is my honor to be part of welcoming everyone to AFP Chicago's 45th Annual Philanthropy Awards. I'm Bridget Coughlin, President and CEO at Shedd Aquarium, and I am here with some of Shedd Aquarium's famous penguins. As the aquarium closed twice last year for over 200 days to do our part to flatten the curve of COVID-19, we, like all nonprofits, were forced to reconsider how we could continue to advance our mission. How could we bring the public eye to eye with the aquatic world? Well, soon videos of our virtual field trips with the penguins, which are part of their daily welfare and enrichment plan, took center stage and collectively created a moment of respite and joy for the world. The popularity of the penguin field trips exemplified that in times of duress, we really do look to nature to rest and recuperate. Soon the penguins were more than just Shedd residents. They were ambassadors to Chicago, contributors to how this city is going to recover. And we are so humbled by the attention and the fanfare that the penguins received, not only in Chicago, but across the globe. Throughout the last year, each of you also had to think about how to creatively deliver on your mission, how to advocate for your vision and augment philanthropic impact. You propelled yourself past how things have always been done, and you cultivated new partnerships and utilized technologies to ensure your vital work still reached the children, families, individuals, animals, and ecosystems who rely on you. You delivered and received transformational solicitations via Zoom, you hosted galas in unconventional venues, and you harmonized through AirPods. Quite simply, you inspired more and greater giving than so many of our organizations had ever seen before. Your resiliency, hard work, and deep passion reinforced that Chicago truly is a city of big shoulders, whose civic and philanthropic pride are unparalleled. So, on behalf of the penguins like this new baby chick and Chicagoan of the Year, Rock Hopper Penguin Wellington, I salute your boldness, and I thank AFP Chicago for championing philanthropists and the entire philanthropic profession. Collectively, thank you for helping move nonprofit missions forward.
Ladies and gentlemen and distinguished guests, welcome to AFP Chicago's 45th Annual Philanthropy Awards. And how fun was that? Thank you to the penguins from the Shedd Aquarium for helping us open today's program. I'm Brandis Friedman, co-anchor and correspondent for Chicago Tonight at WTTW. I'm thrilled to MC this event for my 7th consecutive year and on a virtual platform for the 2nd year in a row. While out of caution, it was decided not to meet in person again this year, AFP Chicago believes in the importance of continuing our valued tradition of recognizing the outstanding achievements of philanthropy in our community. We have an illustrious program lined up for you today, and to kick off our celebration, I'm excited to introduce the mayor of the city of Chicago, the Honorable Lori Lightfoot, for opening remarks. Mayor Lightfoot.
Hello everyone, I'm Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, and it's an honor to welcome you all to the 45th Annual Philanthropy Awards. Over the course of this pandemic, we've seen just how vital philanthropy is to the wellness of our residents and our city as a whole. Chicago's philanthropic community has continued to rise to the occasion time and time again, providing aid to those who have contracted COVID-19, connecting residents to vaccine resources, and supporting those who are at risk of homelessness, have experienced job loss, and so many other tragedies. With that, I want to give a special thank you and congratulations to Marie, Omar, and Denise, Gary, David, and Scott, Robert, Donald, Ravi, and Rohan, as well as the Oak Park River Forest Community Foundation, the Chicago Community Trust, and the United Way of Metro Chicago for being selected as this year's honorees, and for their unwavering commitment to philanthropic work in Chicago. You've each shown a willingness to roll up your sleeves and do the hard work to make the city better than how you discovered it, which remains as important as ever. I'd also like to take this moment to thank AFP Chicago for its year-round support of resource development professionals who make up the backbone of our beloved nonprofit community and are continuing their work to make Chicago's social impact sector the most vibrant in the nation. So thank you one and all. Enjoy today's event, and please everyone, continue to be safe.
Thank you, Mayor Lightfoot, for your inspiring words and for a wonderful start to our celebration of the philanthropic sector in Chicago. My name is Risa Davis, and it's been my pleasure to serve as one of the chairs of this event for the last 2 years. virtually of course. Along with my co-chairs, Ann Cora and Channing Leonard, and the entire Philanthropy Awards Committee, we'd like to welcome you to AFP Chicago's annual salute to the leaders who continue to move philanthropy forward. The generosity, dedication, and impact of each of today's honorees has made a difference in our community and is worthy of our praise and recognition. Personally, I am thrilled to recognize individuals and organizations whose work I have long appreciated for both their dedication and their impact. Thank you and enjoy the program.
If 2020 was considered a long, dark tunnel of a pandemic, political division, and social unrest, in 2021 we've begun to see the light again. While those of us who work in the social impact sector know that there is still plenty of work to be done, it's always good to reflect on where we've been, to appreciate the strides we've made, and to recognize those who have helped us along the way. Today is just that occasion. Those who have been selected to receive awards today have helped ensure that the most vulnerable in our community are being cared for, have undertaken measures to build a more diverse, equitable, and inclusive society, and have served as champions of their respective missions during our darkest hours. We're here today to herald these heroes who have helped us in making metropolitan Chicago a better place to live.
Over the past year, Risa, Ann, and I have had the pleasure to work alongside a group of outstanding individuals who demonstrate fantastic leadership every day, both at their respective organizations and by volunteering to make this event possible. We are truly grateful for all of their efforts, and we're happy to recognize the Philanthropy Awards Committee at this time and thank them for their efforts. Without you, this annual tradition would not be possible, and your work is greatly appreciated. Now, throughout today's webcast, you'll see a Donate Now link at the bottom of your screen. Now, while viewing today's program is being made possible through the generosity of our sponsors, donations in honor of AFP Chicago's 45th anniversary and to support the AFP Chicago chapter's high-quality education programs, networking opportunities, peer mentoring, and inclusion, diversity, equity, and access initiatives are all greatly appreciated. Now, for the 7th consecutive year, we are thankful and thrilled to have the support of WTTW, Chicago Public Media, as our media partner, and to have the brilliant Brandis Friedman of Chicago Tonight as our Master of Ceremonies. Back to you, Brandis.
Risa, Ann, and Channing, thank you. It is my honor to be back again this year as your host, and I am so excited to introduce this year's group of honorees. This is truly one of my favorite events to be involved with. The people being acknowledged today have found and led the way through their time, talent, and resources to make a meaningful difference in the lives of others. Today is a celebration of our funders, our community advocates, our grantees, our volunteers, and our staffs. Through all these partnerships, we are seeing the change that's needed in our world, and today's honorees are an amazing example of this dedication. And so, it is my great pleasure to introduce this year's slate of distinguished honorees who we recognize today for shining their light. Ravi and Rohan Mahajan, the Future Philanthropist Program of the Oak Park River Forest Community Foundation, Robert Rizzo, David J. Koo, Omar Latif, Denise and Gary Gardner, Marie G. Bullock, Donald Cook, Scott Swanson, and the Chicago Community COVID-19 Response Fund. And we will see and hear each honoree's story come to life today. You'll notice the passion that each possess for the people, causes, and organizations that they serve. It is this passion that drives change, inspires action, provides comfort, and makes a difference. Starting off today's program is the Outstanding Youth in Philanthropy Award, which it highlights the achievements of the next generation of philanthropists. This year, we are excited to recognize 2 honorees for their efforts. First up, Ravi and Rohan Mahajan. They are high school students and at Hinsdale Central High School who created and donated face shields to first responders that were used as personal protective equipment during the pandemic. Let's take a look at their amazing story.
Good evening, friends. My name is Dr. Mona Khanna, and I'm the aunt of Ravi and Rohan Mahajan, who, like all other kids, were thrilled that school was canceled in March of 2020. But as time passed and the seriousness of the pandemic set in, they wanted to do more than just play one-on-one basketball. Tinkerworks, their dad's company, happened to have 3D printers and laser cutters, so they decided to manufacture and give away face shields. At the beginning of their volunteer effort, the 3D printers were running round the clock to meet the demands of frontline workers. All told, these 2 kids created and contributed more than 1,000 face shields to Illinois fire departments, police departments, healthcare workers, schools, hospitals, doctors' offices, and long-term care facilities. When I found out what they were doing in their spare time, I nominated them for this award. I'm happy to report that this statewide community service did not come at the expense of their schoolwork, virtual or in person. They're both top honor students at Hinsdale Central High School. Congratulations, kids. I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Rohan. We became aware of the personal protective equipment shortage when our mom would come home after work each day and tell us that the other doctors and nurses didn't have enough PPE to make it through their days. When we first began this project, we had no idea what would happen with the virus. Now, more than a year and a half later, we as a society have made strides to get life back to normal, but there are still a few uncertainties. However, today we find comfort knowing our frontline workers are not facing life-threatening situations every day due to lack of PPE, and we feel privileged to be part of the solution. Even though this project was designed to quickly meet a demanding need, we have learned so much, not only about the virus, but also how to manufacture and distribute a product.
Hi, I'm Ravi. I would like to express our thanks to our friends and family who supported us through this process. Many thanks to Nathan Armstrong and Janice Feinberg, who endorsed our application and introduced us to the selection committee of AFP Chicago. We're sure that you had many worthy candidates, and we are honored to have been chosen for this prestigious award. Thanks to Mom and Dad, who are always supporting us, no matter what we take on it, and for providing us with the resources to execute the Face Shields project. And last but certainly not least, we would like to thank our aunt, Dr. Mona Khanna, for giving us so much of her time to helping out me and my brother. We are so grateful for your help, and we certainly couldn't have won this award without you. Thanks everyone for listening.
And congratulations to Ravi and Rohan. Also receiving the Outstanding Youth in Philanthropy Award is not a person per se, but a youth program. For the past 11 years, Oak Park River Forest High School has used its Future Philanthropist program to prepare our next generation of leaders. Let's take a look at this innovative program and why it was also selected to receive this year's Youth in Philanthropy Award.
My name is Rick King, chairman of Kittleman & Associates and the creator and volunteer director of the Future Philanthropist program, sponsored by the Oak Park River Forest Community Foundation. Initiated in 2010, the program teaches the art, science, and business of philanthropy to the next generation of community leaders. Each year, 25 to 30 high school juniors from OPRF District 200, Fenwick, and Trinity are accepted into this 2-year program. While these teens have accomplished so much beyond our original expectations, last school year, with the onset of the pandemic, presented us with serious roadblocks that threatened the continuation of the program. But again, the teens exceeded our expectations. The program did continue virtually, and the process of raising money and making grants was carried out successfully despite the challenges of COVID. It is their passion, commitment, and determination to do philanthropy in the most challenging of times that I nominated the teens of the Future Philanthropist program for this award.
My name is Thomas Rotatori. I'm a part of the graduating class of 2022 Future Philanthropist program. Last year with FPP, we learned how to create a request for a proposal. We conducted virtual site visits at local nonprofits, and we learned how to evaluate requests for funding. Last year, more than 30 organizations submitted proposals for grant consideration. We had the task of distributing $40,000 to a selection of these local nonprofits, and this required a group to learn about and practice consensus building. Being a part of this process taught me the importance of working as a team, listening to other people's opinions, and giving validation to their thoughts and working together to recommend a mutually agreeable decision.
My name is Jasmine Wood. I graduated from FPP last spring and am currently a freshman at the George Washington University in DC. The pandemic made it necessary to shift our fundraising campaign to prioritize solicitation efforts that could be done online instead of in person. We wrote and sent out hundreds of appeal letters, met with potential donors over Zoom, and hosted masterclass webinars and virtual auctions. The addition of donor challenge gifts, matching the amount of money we raised, served as the extra motivation needed to be successful. And it paid off. In just 9 months, my peers and I were able to raise $110,000 to put back into a program that had changed our lives. I learned 2 important lessons from this experience. The first, be passionate. If you can demonstrate your commitment to your cause, you will draw people in, and success will ultimately be inevitable. Second, be excited. If you can sit back at the end of the day and smile about the work you've done, then you are right where you need to be. After all, there's no fundraising without fun.
How inspiring both. Congratulations to all of our Youth and Philanthropy Award recipients this year. Next, the Outstanding Volunteer Award is presented to someone who demonstrates exemplary volunteerism through the dedication of significant personal time, talents, and resources. Now, many of you may already recognize Robert Rizzo for his grant-making efforts with the Sara Lee Foundation and ConAgra Brands Foundation. But today, we recognize his personal volunteer efforts that were especially impactful during the pandemic. Let's take a look at how Robert embodies the Outstanding Volunteer Award.
When it comes to outstanding Lakeview Pantry volunteers, Robert Rizzo demonstrates that actions can speak even louder than words. His dedication to philanthropy and volunteerism through both personal and professional avenues is inspiring. As a grantee of the ConAgra Brands Foundation efforts that Robert leads, I've experienced firsthand the dedication and thoughtfulness that Robert brings to his work. Over the past 4 years, ConAgra Brands has donated more than 19,000 pounds of food and over $150,000 to Lakeview Pantry through grants and matched employee giving. Now, for many, giving may be enough, but Robert has also donated his personal time and talent. In 2019, Robert joined the Lakeview Pantry Board of Directors, and when the pandemic hit, he rolled up his sleeves and began volunteering regularly. He is a loyal Thursday evening volunteer with our online market, and in the past year alone, Robert has volunteered 96 times and donated 286 hours of sweat equity, his personal time, to our mission. He helps bring others to the mission as well. In the past 3 years, more than 40 volunteer groups from ConAgra Brands have joined us. This hands-on introduction to our work is one of the many ways Robert helps to spread the word about food insecurity in Chicago. I'm personally honored to work closely with him, and I can't think of a better candidate for AFP Chicago's Outstanding Volunteer Award.
Have you ever waited in a very, very long line? What were you waiting for? Most of us can agree that the process of waiting for anything is often tedious, rarely ever fun, and at times may cause us to feel a range of emotions such as frustration, annoyance, uncertainty, and anxiety. During the pandemic, the line of individuals, children, and families patiently waiting for food wrapped around so many blocks in many of our Chicago neighborhoods. Not only was it heartbreaking to so visibly see the need that existed in our city and around the country simply for food, it was impossible not to empathize with the anxiety-filled uncertainty that this caused for so many families. In contrast to this dire situation, it was incredibly inspirational to witness the nonprofit sector and very generous individuals attempt to fill this massive need to feed our neighbors. Together, donors, volunteers, and nonprofit staff provided nutritious food and additional services to help thousands of families survive. The Association of Fundraising Professionals clearly knows that it takes a dedicated community to advance generosity and create positive social change to improve lives of people in Chicago. Fortunately, this compassionate community is massive, composed of a diverse group of folks who are committed to making their community and our world a much better place to live. I've consistently volunteered side by side with many people who have devoted their personal time and unique skills to make a meaningful difference in the lives of others. Thank you to all the volunteers who use their actions to help others. I'm very proud to be just one of the many volunteers who have helped to make a difference in my hometown of Chicago. And today, I am deeply honored to be recognized by the Association of Fundraising Professionals with the 2021 Outstanding Volunteer Award. Thank you.
And congratulations, Robert, and thank you again for your dedication and tireless service. This year, David J. Koo is receiving the Emerging Philanthropist Award for the impact that he's made through his philanthropic leadership efforts at organizations such as the Latin School, the Chicago Children's Choir, and the Shedd Aquarium. He is on the path to creating an amazing philanthropy legacy in Chicago. Let's take a look at David's passionate and dedicated work.
It is my pleasure to have nominated David Koo for the AFP Chicago Emerging Philanthropist Award. I first met David when he served as co-chair of a campaign for the Latin School of Chicago, where his children are enrolled. He was so energetic and hands-on despite his busy and engaged life. He was generous with his time, expertise, and financial resources. David invited me to lunch one day, asking my advice about how he could improve as a volunteer and a donor. I knew then how seriously David took his commitment to generosity. Subsequently, I saw David become active in the Chicago Children's Chorus and the Shedd Aquarium, and I'm aware that David supports his alma mater, the University of Notre Dame, and the Hanul Family Alliance. David is a generous and thoughtful individual who I appreciate as a person, volunteer, and donor.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am so thankful and thrilled and humbled to be receiving this award from the Association of Fundraising Professionals and to be recognized as their emerging philanthropist in Chicago. I want to very much thank Peter Fissinger from Campbell & Company for even considering me or thinking of me and nominating me for this. I know I'm in great company with so many of you that do tremendous work, both locally and nationally. It's a moment of reflection as to why this work is important and why this has been so fulfilling personally. It reminds me how fortunate I am in life to have the ability to give time and to support these various organizations that have incredible missions that have great impact on our communities. So the Chicago Children's Choir, inspiring and changing lives through music, the Shedd Aquarium, bringing the aquatic world both locally and globally, and bringing awareness and curiosity and compassion and conservation for animals. The Latin School of Chicago is a leading independent school, and my alma mater, the University of Notre Dame, which taught me to try to be a force for good, reminds me that these are incredibly rewarding ways to spend a lot of time and energy, personally very fulfilling. And the emerging part of this award reminds me that time is not guaranteed to any of us. And so an important part for me personally is trying to be involved as early as possible to try to have impact, because the world needs us, these organizations need us, they need all of you. So thank you very much.
David, well done and congrats. On to this year's Outstanding Community Leader Award, which goes to Dr. Omar Latif. As CEO of Rush University Medical Center, he's been described as a leader who inspires groundbreaking and transformational change in healthcare, education, mission strategies, and community outreach. During the pandemic, the health and racial equity work he developed at Rush made an impact in not only our community, but also served as a model for healthcare institutions across the nation. We applaud him today for his tireless efforts. Let's take a look at Dr. Latif's great work.
One of the best things about Dr. Latif is that when it comes to community, he really cares, especially when it comes to our work with kids and our work with Westside United. You know, don't tell him that there's some event that's going on with our youth. He will show up, introduce himself, give his email address. He cares, and I think that's all you can ask for in a leader.
Hi, my name is Aisha Jaco, and I serve as Executive Director for Westside United. And I am so honored and thrilled to say congratulations to Dr. Omar Latif. Omar, you're well deserving of this award. You're an innovative leader who thinks outside the box, and Westside United is honored to have your leadership as we work together to address the life expectancy gap. We could not do this work without you. If you were an artist, you would color outside the lines. If you were a soldier, you would definitely be on the front lines, leading people to what we know to be true for what we need to make the world a better place. Thank you for what you do, and congratulations.
I'm so honored today to speak on behalf of my friend and colleague, Dr. Omar Latif, for this generous award that he's receiving. Omar is a leader who leads from his heart. From the day I met Omar many years ago, Omar always does the right thing. And there was nothing more prominent and no moment more important than when COVID hit Chicago, when Omar, as the CEO of Rush, made the decision that we were going to reach out to the safety net hospitals and take in from all around the Chicago region these sickest patients. That decision is a brave decision by a leader. I can't be more honored to have Omar as my friend, and thank you for awarding him this really generous award today. Thank you very much.
I'd like to begin by thanking the Chicago chapter of the Association of Fundraising Professionals and your amazing board of volunteers. I am so honored to accept this Outstanding Community Leader Award, but I do so on behalf of the 13,000 staff and faculty of Rush University Medical Center. What makes a leader outstanding is really the strength of the people who work alongside. That strength has been put to the test during the COVID-19 pandemic. We like to say of our COVID response, Rush was built for this. And when we say that, we mean that our people, when faced with the greatest challenge we've ever faced, were equipped for this kind of stress. Through it all, they stayed mission-driven, keeping our community at the center of our work at every turn. We saw transfers of the most critically ill patients from safety net hospitals that did not have the resources to care for them, and we gave those patients amongst the top outcomes in the nation. We went into local shelters and delivered testing and vaccines to individuals experiencing homelessness. And we partnered with volunteers and leaders and organizations on Chicago's West Side to get as many vaccinated in those neighborhoods as we possibly could. And we've discharged more COVID patients in 2020 than any hospital in the state. What's more, we've solidified our commitment to the health of our communities through the establishment of a new Rush BMO Institute for Health Equity, which will maximize our partnerships in the community to address the root causes of poor health, aiming our efforts at factors like employment, education, and food security. We do all of this because we know that our city is only as strong as the health of the people in it. And sometimes that means we make sacrifices to do what's right over what's easy or profitable. Leaders like me couldn't do the work we do without the support of donors. Philanthropy is what allows us to innovate, pilot new ideas, and to partner in the community bringing those ideas to life. Philanthropy staff are critical partners, and we couldn't do any of the work we do without them. Many of you know Diane McKeever, our Senior Vice President of Philanthropy. I've often told her that I find it less intimidating to perform emergency care at 2 a.m. than to ask someone for money. I admire all of you who've dedicated your careers to doing that and who drive innovation and sustainability within the organizations and communities you serve. Once again, thank you for this award, and congratulations to all of the honorees. And to all of you fundraising professionals, thank you for the work you do to strengthen our communities. Your skill and dedication are what makes Chicago one of the best cities in the world. Thanks again.
How inspirational, and congratulations again, Dr. Lateef. As we come to the halfway point in today's program, I'm pleased to introduce Tula Gogolak, Manager of Development and Strategic Initiatives with Easter Seal's National Office in Chicago and President of AFP Chicago, for a few remarks about today's presentation. Tula, it's all yours.
Thank you, Brandis. Every year, the Philanthropy Awards program is a labor of love for AFP Chicago. And frankly, this event is an annual highlight for the philanthropic community. AFP Chicago has amazing staff, volunteers, and board members that make today's ceremony possible. It's a team reflective of the indelible spirit of Chicago's philanthropic community, and the philanthropic community in Chicago is really like no other. And so it is with the utmost gratitude that I have the pleasure to thank all of those who helped make today's presentation possible. First, I'd like to thank everyone on our Philanthropy Awards Program Committee, led by our co-chairs, nonprofit consultant Risa Davis, Ann Cora of the Adler Planetarium, and Channing Leonard of the Polk Brothers Foundation. We could not have done this without you. Thank you for all of your efforts. I also need to thank the dedicated AFP Chicago Board of Directors for their ongoing leadership. As one of the largest chapters in North America, the work of AFP continues to light the way locally and nationally for excellence in nonprofit sector, and our engaged, enthusiastic board makes this work all possible. As professional fundraisers, We know that financial support is a critical lifeline to support the missions of our respective organizations. The Chicago chapter of our association is no different. If you would please consider clicking the link below to make a donation to support the important programs of AFP Chicago, it would be greatly appreciated. Of course, both the success of our chapter and this cornerstone event for the philanthropic community would not be possible without the steadfast support of our sponsors.
Thank you to our generous sponsors. Gold sponsors: David J. Koo, PNC, the Chicago Community Trust. Silver sponsors: Art Institute Chicago, Gradavid, Polk Brothers Foundation, Robert R. McCormick Foundation, Rush. Guarantor sponsors: Conagra Brands, DePaul University. Benefactor sponsors: The Alfred Group, Campbell & Company, Latin School of Chicago, Oak Park River Forest Community Foundation, Shed Aquarium, William Blair, Wintrust Wealth Management. Sustainer sponsors: Risa and Charles Davis, Kittleman, Pursuant, Ravinia. Patron sponsor: UCAN. Media sponsor: WTTW WFMT. Program book sponsor: Speak. Chapter champions: Advocate Aurora Health, the Alfred Group, Campbell & Company. And we are grateful for the individuals who made gifts at the friend level and above in support of the event. Thank you.
Finally, I want to thank our vast community of philanthropists, fundraisers, volunteers, and community leaders for all that you do, and thank you for joining us today. Your work matters, and it does make a difference. And of course, Brandis, thank you for sharing your talents as Master of Ceremonies for this momentous occasion. Many thanks, and back to you, Brandis.
And thank you, Tula. We continue our program today by recognizing Denise and Gary Gardner for their long-standing, compassionate, and generous support of nonprofit organizations working in the arts, community improvement, education, youth development, mental health, and human services. In particular, the collective efforts of the Gardners have helped uplift and improve African American communities throughout Chicago. Let's take a look at why we are thrilled to recognize Denise and Gary Gardner this year with the 2021 Distinguished Philanthropist Award.
The term philanthropy is derived from the Greek words philos, meaning love, and anthropos, meaning humankind. It literally means love of humankind. So by default, philanthropists are those who are moved by the love of humankind to help others and make a difference in the world. This defines Gary and Denise Gardner. For over 20 years, the Gardners have operated the Gary and Denise Gardner Family Foundation. The foundation has the goal of financially supporting the operational and program goals of arts, cultural, and civic organizations in the Chicagoland area. Over the last 5 years, they have donated over $1 million in support of these efforts. It would be a misconception to believe that this love for humanity, this philanthropic mindset, and the spirit that defines Gary and Denise Gardner began only recently. They would both readily tell you that their giving is tied to collective ideals rooted in their upbringing. Doing as much as you can for as many as you can. This is the worldview that Gary and Denise strive to live up to each and every day. Gary and Denise have exhibited a long-standing commitment to Chicago and the surrounding areas. This commitment is evidenced by their many years of support of arts, cultural, and civic organizations. Denise's commitment to philanthropy is evident in the work that she does and the avenues she supports. She has served on the board of directors for Chicago Community Trust, Chicago Public Library, Northwestern University's Weinberg College of Arts and Science, Gaylord and Dorothy Donnelly Foundation, and the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, most recently being appointed to chairman of the board of the Art Institute of Chicago. The appointment makes her the first Black woman chair at a major art museum. I feel confident that you will agree that the Gardners are extremely deserving candidates. For their continued dedication, the African American Legacy Fund of the Chicago Community Trust is proud to nominate them for the Distinguished Philanthropist Award.
We are truly honored to be recognized today by the Association of Fundraising Professionals. Investing in the future of people in Chicago is part of our DNA. Our family has a long legacy of doing as much as we can to improve the lives of people in our community, especially those on the south and west sides of the city. For us, that legacy has translated into focusing particularly on our youth. We know firsthand the benefits quality education can bring. So focusing on academic opportunity, success, and persistence are high philanthropic priorities for us. We also know how much creativity and talent lies in Chicago. So investing in artistic talents, nurturing and recognizing that talent is also an essential priority for us. The legacy also for us means engaging in our next generation, helping our sons and their families to translate their values of service into meaningful, impactful philanthropy. Today in Chicago, there is much to be done. So rather than accept this award for what we might have accomplished so far, we accept this award instead for what we intend to do in the future.
And I'd like to thank you as well for this wonderful recognition and end with a quote from my father, Ed Gardner, who would tell the company that it was our mission to do as much as we can for as many as we can. And that continues to drive us to this day. Thank you.
And congratulations to Denise and Gary, and thank you for your work. We continue our program today with the Benjamin Franklin Award, which is presented to a fundraising professional for their significant achievements in the field and for serving as a role model for the profession. This year, we recognize Marie Bullock for dedicating her career to the nonprofit philanthropic sector. As vice president of the Alford Group for the past 30 years and one of the founding members of Forefront, her efforts have made a significant impact on philanthropy in Chicago and beyond. Let's take a closer look at Marie's work.
The Alford Group is proud and excited to congratulate Marie Bullock on receiving the Benjamin Franklin Award. Marie's accomplishments as a corporate and nonprofit leader are extraordinary. Her work as a philanthropist further sets her apart. Marie has been the wind under the wings of so many, encouraging them to think about and act upon the impact they can have on the world. She has demonstrated a passion for learning and a unique ability to connect with others. Marie exemplifies Benjamin Franklin's quote, "When you are good to others, you are best to yourself." I hope that each of us leaves this event filled with Marie's spirit of generosity. All who have been touched by Marie are grateful to call her a friend, an ally, and a trusted partner. This honor is well earned and highly deserved. Marie, keep going.
Thank you, Brenda, for nominating me for the Benjamin Franklin Award. Thank you also to AFP Chicago and my colleagues at the Alford Group. For many years, I worked for W. Clement Stone, an entrepreneur businessman, an author, and a proponent of positive mental attitude. Each day, he would remind us, with every adversity, there's a seed of equivalent or greater benefit. And so it was true for me. As a small child, we lost our father very suddenly, leaving my mother with 7 children under the age of 13. The community surrounded us. Nonprofit organizations embraced us, and we not just survived, but we thrived. And so that led for a calling to me to work in the nonprofit sector, to give back, reciprocity at its best. And I am so delighted that I worked in the field for so many years with so many of you. I leave you today with a quote, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." James Baldwin. And this one is for me. May I be truly and highly esteemed by my fellow men and women and may I hold myself worthy of that esteem. Abraham Lincoln. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, and congratulations, Marie. Our next award is for a corporate and foundation giving officer that have shown professionalism, compassion, and generous support to Chicago's nonprofit community. Donald Cook has served as Senior Vice President of Philanthropy for the Robert R. McCormick Foundation for more than 15 years and oversees a $60 million grant portfolio. A former fundraiser himself, Don has been described as a smart, thoughtful, and insightful philanthropic leader who is widely respected, which is why he is also very deserving of the Professional Grantor Award. Here's a look at Don's great work.
Hey Don, it's Allison Rubel from the USO. Over the years, I have always admired your incredible passion for music and the arts and your compassion for the community and giving back. And that has directly affected the lives of thousands of service members and their families through the USO and your great work. You've been an incredible mentor, champion, advocate, educator. You've enabled seismic transformations that have literally affected the lives of thousands of service members, military kids, and their families. And you've helped veterans transition successfully to the civilian world, so important today. Congratulations on this well-deserved honor, and thank you for all you continue to do to make our world a better place.
I really want to thank AFP for this wonderful recognition. Known AFP for a long time, and when I started, some of your younger people won't know this, but it used to be called NSFRE, National Society of Fundraising Executives, so I think the name change was good. I also want to thank Charles Katzenmeyer, who's probably responsible for this mess. A great thanks goes to our friends, my friends and colleagues at the McCormick Foundation. It's an amazing group of people over the years I've worked with, passionate, committed, and really trying to help the people of Chicago. From the board on down, a very committed and engaged board and our leadership and then our very talented staff. So big thanks to them. And a thanks to all of you out there who are doing this work, who are the ones who actually get the help that we can give, but put it to work for the good of the people of Chicago and Illinois. So we're most grateful for that and for the hard work you folks do. There's a story that at the end of his writing career, Rudyard Kipling was making 5 shillings per word. And so some wise guys at Oxford sent him a note with 5 shillings in it and said, "Send us your best word." And he took the money and he wrote back, "Thanks." And the fact is, it's a pretty good word and one we don't say enough. So thanks to all of you, thanks to AFP for this great recognition, and appreciate all that everybody does out there to make the city and our state better. Thank you.
And Don, congratulations to you. Now, it is with great pleasure that I present the Executive Leader Award to Scott Swanson, president of PNC Bank, Illinois. Throughout Scott's extensive career as a financial executive in Chicago, his outstanding leadership has supported an impressive list of charitable organizations, including the Adler Planetarium, the Commercial Club of Chicago, the Chicagoland Chamber of Commerce, the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, After School Matters, the United Way of Metropolitan Chicago, Big Shoulders Fund, and many more. Let's take a look at Scott's impressive work, and that makes him this year's Executive Leader Honoree.
Scott Swanson's service to the Adler Planetarium predates my arrival as CEO, but he and I forged a fast friendship around our shared love for astronomy and the Adler's mission to connect people to the universe and each other under the sky we all share. Scott fundamentally understands the strength of community and the potential for meaningful impact when business and nonprofit sectors are aligned. He knows this in his head and heart, but he is also the first person to roll up his sleeves and make things happen, which is why we proudly nominated him for the 2021 Executive Leader Award. I have witnessed Scott's contagious passion firsthand with his peers, our Adler team, and even a group of Muppets, as he leads by example and moves us all to invest in our city and spark change where it is needed most. Scott is a good human with an incredible partner in Rhonda, and Chicago is better for his leadership. I am proud to call him a friend and pleased to congratulate him for receiving the AFP Chicago 2021 Executive Leader Award. On behalf of the Adler Planetarium, Big Shoulders Fund, United Way of Metro Chicago, and El Valor, Thank you, Scott, for being a steadfast leader in the meaningful work we do together.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm truly honored to be receiving this award today. Michelle, thank you so much for those kind words, and thank you for your friendship. I want to let you know how proud I am to have the opportunity to partner with you and your team at the Adler Planetarium. Thank you to all the nominators that made this award possible. The Adler Planetarium, the Big Shoulders Fund, United Way of Metropolitan Chicago, and El Valor. Each of you make our city and region a better place, and I deeply appreciate our partnerships together. I'd also like to congratulate all of this year's award winners for your well-deserved recognition. It's certainly humbling to be in such great company with so many inspirational leaders. And thank you to the Association of Fundraising Professionals Chicago for this honor, and importantly for your ongoing work to connect people who are passionate about strengthening communities and allowing them to combine their talents to make positive change. As I reflect on this past year, there have been many challenges that affect us all. The human toll of COVID-19, supporting businesses and the hurdles they may face, challenged school systems, and a national awakening to renew the focus on social justice and to end systemic racism. In my opinion, we do not succeed unless each of these are addressed. I'm often asked what it takes to be an executive leader in Chicago. Well, the answer goes well beyond professional responsibilities. It's really all of the ways that we can connect with one another to try to help address these persistent issues in our communities together. And that does start for me within PNC and how I engage with all of our colleagues by getting to know them as individuals and in the past year, having more candid, transparent, and quite frankly, more difficult conversations about what my colleagues may be facing and how we can collectively address discrimination, racism, and bias that plagues our communities and our country. Whether it's the local investments that we've made of over $14 million to early childhood education, or our multi-billion-dollar commitment on investments to address social justice, to drive economic empowerment and equity to diverse businesses and individuals, I am proud to be a part of a company that is committed to continue to making a difference in our communities. But we can't do all of the work that's needed alone. It is imperative to doing the work in partnership with other leaders and organizations across our city, leveraging the power of business, personal, and civic networks to make change. There's a quote that I value from Winston Churchill: "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." For all of you who give every day, I'm proud to stand beside you in that journey. Thank you again for this extraordinary honor. I'm deeply appreciative of it.
And congratulations again to Scott. Now, our final award today, and for only the fourth time in the history of AFP Chicago's Philanthropy Awards, we're pleased to present the Special Award, which has historically been reserved for recognition under a unique set of circumstances. The Chicago Community COVID-19 Response Fund did just that. Organized and led by the Chicago Community Trust and the United Way of Metropolitan Chicago, the COVID-19 Response Fund quickly raised funds and rapidly deployed resources to local nonprofit organizations serving the most vulnerable residents in the Chicago region as a result of the public health, social, and economic consequences of the pandemic. Let's take a look at these extraordinary efforts.
Hi, I'm Helene Gale, President and CEO of the Chicago Community Trust.
And I'm Sean Garrett, President and CEO of United Way of Metro Chicago. We are honored to be here today to accept this award from the Association of Fundraising Professionals on behalf of everyone who rallied together to support the Chicago Community COVID Response Fund. Thanks to nearly 6,000 donors that included individuals, families, businesses, foundations, the CCRF distributed more than $35 million to more than 400 organizations, becoming the largest COVID relief effort in Chicago and one of the largest in the country. This critical support helped to provide food, rental and mortgage assistance, access to healthcare, PPE, COVID testing, internet access, and so much more to our neighbors and communities impacted by the pandemic.
The incredible outpouring of support and generosity during this time demonstrates that when we come together in common purpose, we can be greater than the challenges we face. We all know that the need is still great, and we must ensure that communities hit hardest by COVID-19 crisis can recover and build back stronger. At the Trust, we have launched We Rise Together for a just and equitable recovery, aimed at ensuring that Black and Latinx communities are centered in economic recovery efforts.
And at United Way, we recently launched our United Neighborhoods Equity Fund to support small Black and Latinx-led nonprofits, predominantly located in the city's south and west sides and south suburban region.
These are just two of the many ways we are continuing to support our region's long-term recovery. We know that together we can achieve a stronger and more equitable future for all Chicagoans, and we look forward to your continued partnership. Thank you.
And what a year it has been. Thank you and congratulations again to the Chicago Community Trust and to the United Way of Metropolitan Chicago for your heroic efforts when your community needed you the most. And congratulations again to all of our honorees today for their altruism, compassion, and commitment. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of our program, and I personally want to thank you for allowing me to join you as MC again for this wonderful and inspirational event. It has been a privilege and a joy to help celebrate the Chicago philanthropic community again this year. On behalf of the Philanthropy Awards Luncheon Committee and the board and staff of AFP Chicago, I thank you for joining us today and for your support. We leave you now with the sounds of the Chicago Children's Choir. Please, everyone, have a great weekend.
You are my friend when I'm in need.